Today, for our first podcast, we'll be discussing our experiences with online schools and some ways we manage our well-being during this time, such as how we stay hopeful and optimistic. We chose to talk about this for our first episode to address some ongoing situations with the pandemic. And since most of us here are students, we just want to share our experiences with online school and how we've been dealing with everything amidst this whole turbulent period. So, to start off, we all thought since this is our first podcast, we could go around and just introduce ourselves and say a quick fact. So, I'll start off. My name is Almira. I'm the National Director for London at My State of Mind, and I'm currently a second year student at King's College London studying psychology. And a quick fact about me is I collect crystals.
Nice. I can go next. So, hi everyone. My name is Katrina, or you can call me Kat for short. I'm a creative content writer for the blog of My State of Mind, and I'm from California. And the school I go to is UC Davis, and I'm a second year majoring in psychology, minoring in human rights. And a fun fact about myself is actually as a positive initiator and motivating catalyst for the start of 2021 and the rest of my future and beyond is I started a blog about all things mental health, wellness, self-care, self-love, and all those things alike. And because I think it would really help young adults and all types of audience for healing.
Check it
Okay,
out,
yeah.
guys.
Everyone, yeah, that's what I was gonna say as well. Everyone check out Kat's blog. Honestly, she's like one of the sweetest people I've ever met. So you should definitely check out her blog. And okay, so my name is Toysha. So I'm in 11th grade and I go to school in Ontario, Canada, and I'm the national director from Canada for My State of Mind. And I'm really excited to be a host for the first episode of Unwind the Mind. And a fun fact about me is that I love to read, and my favorite book is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalid Hussein. And before we start off, I just want to give a quick disclaimer. So, we are not mental health professionals, and if you really have serious issues, please seek advice from a mental health professional or any other resources you can get your hands on. This episode of Unwind the Mind is made solely to share our stories and hopefully create a safe space for others to do the same. And with that being said, we really hope you enjoyed today's episode, and thank you all for tuning in. And yeah, let's get started.
Okay. So our first topic is just we're gonna ask like how is online school going for you guys? For me
Okay.
personally, I'm all right. I'm falling behind on my lectures a little bit, but it's okay, I guess. What about
Yeah,
you, Kat?
I feel you. I feel you.
It's okay, I guess. Honestly,
Yeah.
same. For me, it's like in Ontario, we're doing quadmesters. So basically, every the year is divided into fours now, and it's like two classes in hyper speed in like 2 months. So I have chemistry and English, so it's a lot of work. And basically, I'm also drowning as well. It's a lot of writing and a lot of just pain, basically, and lack of sleep.
Oh my
But yeah.
god.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to you guys at UC Davis. It's a quarter system, and we're already in midterm season right now. It's week 5, and catching up on lectures is always going to be a work in progress. It's just a whole new way of learning, and I think it's just a tough situation for everyone, for all students alike. So, yeah, I think
Do
we
you
can all
guys
relate.
like for your online classes, the live classes, do you guys participate or is it always like a silent, do you have any questions and then just silence or like in a breakout room? No one wants to speak because that's the situation for me. Almost like
Oh,
probably 90% of the time. It sometimes makes me like, should I speak? But I didn't do the reading. It's, oh my God. I don't know what to say,
yeah.
but I do want to participate, but I didn't do the reading or the lecture yet. So,
That was me last quarter. I
oh
got
my God.
fortunate enough this quarter where everything is asynchronous, so I don't have to attend any
Mm,
live lectures anymore besides
same,
one
same.
discussion session. But other than that, it was a lot of silent breakout rooms.
For me specifically, so for English, honestly, it's really fun just because the teacher we have, she's amazing. She used to be a drama teacher, so she makes everything fun. For chemistry, my teacher is great as well, but because chemistry is very like difficult. I don't want to say difficult because I know some people love chemistry, but it's hard, okay?
It is hard. I don't like it.
It's so difficult. And literally she asked the question, the whole class, silence. No one unmutes their mic. No one has their camera on. Everyone's just typing in the chat. And it's just terrible. It's honestly like, it's like really, really bad, but yeah.
Yeah.
Me struggling in organic chemistry right now.
Just like compared to like face-to-face school, it's just, at least it feels more, I don't know, like you're in one classroom and no one's speaking, so you can see each other's faces and you can just like hint to like another person, like go speak, and then like, no, you speak. But here in online school, you can't do that. So we're just like with our microphones off and like videos off. It's awkward to say the least. But yeah.
Yeah, that kind of delves in. Sorry, continue.
Oh, no, I was just saying, yeah, honestly, for me as well, it's kind of like, it feels like school. You've taken like all the fun, all the extracurriculars, all the meeting your friends in the lunchtime, swapping lunches or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just take all that out and you just take it to the worst elements. So like impractical learning, boring lessons, like even the teachers, like what can they even do? It's just, honestly, it's terrible. But like,
yeah, like the one thing I miss is just having lunch with my friends in between classes. Because back in campus, like after one class, we'll be like, oh, where do you want to buy food? Or we can like hang out in the common room just to eat like our pre-packed food. Because me and my friend, we would like bring food from our homes, and we're both like Asian, right? So the smell of the food just goes.
Yeah. I can relate.
Yeah, and now I barely meet my friends like in a call during online school, but we do have like this one class where it's just a practical, so we don't really have to be in the room with the teacher. We can just do our own thing, and that's like my therapy session every week, is just talking to my two closest friends, just like catching up. And I think that's like one thing that's majorly helped me with like mental health and just getting that social interaction, even though it's just like 1 week and it's only like about an hour, because for most of us, it's like it's dinner time around that time, so we have to eat dinner afterwards. And yeah, 1 hour is so enough. I mean, I would love to have more, but the situation,
Yeah, I think just the whole restriction and limitations of social interaction itself, that's kind of a lot of where a lot of issues lie now, especially mental health and mental illness rates have kind of been exacerbated by the pandemic, because we're all, under this quarantine, self-quarantine, social isolation, and it's easy to feel lost and disconnected by the world more so now, which is why like this topic of maintaining our optimism, maintaining hope of and our view of the world is really important.
Yeah, especially for young people like us, because
we're just entering adulthood, and
yeah,
it's incredibly important.
We're missing out on so many things, like so many experiences that we could be having, and we're basically like our whole lives are kind of on hold. And honestly, even like I try to stay as positive as I can, but honestly, it is difficult just because you're always thinking about like, oh, I would be doing this, I would be at this party, I would be at this event, and you're just like you feel very depleted. Like, there's nothing. You don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I guess it's kind of cheesy, but like basically that's how I kind of feel. Like you don't know when all the vaccines are going to be distributed and how things are going to go, but just take it one day at a time and hope it works out eventually.
And I hope all the listeners also know that we're being super unfiltered, unscripted right now. So this is just coming from our hearts on how we
want to keep it as raw and authentic and natural as possible, because we need more of those genuine conversations nowadays.
And I hope you guys can relate to us. Yeah. So like, what is, other than like social interaction, or if you want to talk about social interaction, like what has been the most downside aspect of this whole COVID situation? Do you guys think?
Oh my god.
I have things to say.
We'll just rant. Come on, let's go.
Well, in addition, for me, like personally, not only lack of social interaction, but just having to go out for fresh air. Like it's so hard just to do that simple, basic act of getting fresh air because we need to put on masks for the safety of the people around us. Exercise, it's so much harder. I think
Yeah.
personally, I try to go out on runs or move my body at least 4 times a week. That was a goal I established this year to kind of maintain that proper self-care and those rituals and routines and habits that kind of helps me with maintaining optimism and hope, but and my well-being in general. It's much harder to just move my body and exercise as much as I can do it indoors. There's something different about being in nature or immersing yourself in environments that you feel peaceful other than your home.
Yeah, for me, it's sort of like I'm a very goal-oriented person. I don't know if you guys will get this reference, but I'm like a Slither Claw, so I really have a lot of yeah.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter. Yeah, it's like a combination of Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and I really like to have these set goals and these set ambitions for me. Like every year, New Year's resolutions are a really big thing for me. But I feel like this year, the biggest issue that I'm having is I'm not able to meet my goals and I'm not able to be as ambitious as I want to be. And it's really like sort of affecting me because it's like it's kind of like I'm at home, I should be able to do more things rather than less. But the whole day just seems to pass by in a blur and I'm not able to hit all these targets I have for myself, and that sort of like drags me down a little mentally and I have to, build myself up again. But it's like difficult. Like 1 second I'm on TikTok for like literally I think like 10 minutes. I'm just gonna scroll through TikTok. Next thing I know, like
I've been there for 2 hours.
missing my lecture. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
2 hours straight.
There's a reason why it's called TikTok. It makes the time goes by
Oh my
way
god,
too
I never
fast.
thought about that. I never thought about it that way. Wow, you're
TikTok, like the
smart.
clock goes.
Yeah, they don't even have like I don't know if
Well,
you guys know this, but there's no like timer. Like when all your apps they have the time on top. TikTok doesn't have that.
yeah,
Like,
I noticed
Yeah.
that too, because it makes you unaware of time. But they have,
Yes.
do you know that they actually have like a time limit setting? But the lowest setting you can set for like a timer is 40 minutes. So they
Whoa.
want you to spend like not 10 minutes, not 20,
At
30, no,
least.
40 minutes, at least 40 minutes on the app until they remind you. That's crazy. I was like, what? Why is there? Because like on Instagram, you can set like for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, something like that, right? But TikTok, no. You have to be on our app for 40 minutes.
oh my god.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I'll be
Well,
honest.
for me, the hardest thing definitely is just moving back home from London, because I spent my whole first year in London, and moving back to my home country, which I know like a lot of international students can relate, having to move back from your from the country you were living in for school. I like Tavisha, like I feel like I'm missing out, but not in that same aspect. Just like I could be exploring the UK, I could be exploring London, because I went to multiple parts of the UK with my friends. Like I went to Leeds, Nottingham, and stuff like that. And I just feel like I'm missing out on that, like, the friendship, group trips, and like exploring the city with my friends. And that's something I feel like I've been missing out on. Also with school, like, living in Indonesia, like you would see those films with like campus towns and like universities made all pretty and stuff. Sorry, my voice it's early in the morning for me, so my voice is like croaky. But yeah, I lived that for a year, and now I'm just at home, back to where it all started from, and it just feels so kind of like sentimental in a way, because I'm practically in university, but I'm like in my childhood home with my parents and stuff. It kind of like gets me into like a crisis of like, am I actually a university student, stuff like that. And yeah, that's been like, I've questioned the same thing as like Tavisha, like, am I doing enough? Because actually, because I'm in my second year in psychology, I could have been doing all these like research assistant part-time like work, like in the lab and stuff as a lab assistant, stuff like that. But with COVID, like there's no research studies going on, and there's limited opportunities for that. So I feel like as a like university student as well, like I'm not growing my CV enough when I could be if there was no COVID, and that's like one major part. And I'm also applying to like professional placements for my third year, and it's been very difficult too because there's no not much like position openings because people don't really want to have the resources to take placement students at this time, so it's difficult for me too in that way. But yeah, that's like what that's a lot of negatives from COVID. But yeah, as I said, like I'm being unfiltered, so I'm just I hope like there are people who can relate and know that like you're not alone with like feeling this way. It's the least we could do is just be hopeful, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel
Yeah.
like we should shift the tone. Everyone talk about the most positive thing you've gotten out of
Yeah,
COVID.
let's switch the tone. I'm so sorry, guys. Let's go.
All of us have been ranting. Like, no, everyone say something.
No, yeah, we gotta. That's authenticity right there. Like, I'm sure a lot. I'm sure a lot of people can
Yeah.
relate. Yeah.
Yeah, and also with the positive aspects of COVID, let's not have toxic positivity. We'll just
Yeah.
yeah, because we know that could be toxic. Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. What has keeping you guys like up and going in your daily life, you know?
I guess I'll go first. So,
Yeah.
COVID has been difficult, but one thing like I really enjoyed doing is first off, I spent so much time with my family, and like I usually do like even pre-COVID, but like with COVID, every single day you get to know so much about the people you've been living next to. Like basically, okay, not living next to you. I'm acting so dramatic, like I'm already, but it's like sometimes when like you're at school, you like basically you're not at home all day, and you come home, your parents come home from work, so you don't get to see each other as much as you like. So I get to spend a lot of time with my family. We try to do game nights, and I don't really have any cousins. I mean, I don't have
So
any
cute.
cousins. Thanks, my mom.
Yeah.
She's so happy she thought of the idea. But I don't have any cousins here, so what we do sometimes is with our family friends, we have like virtual games. So we like put up an old Hindi movie and we like say who can guess like the line first or whatever. So those have been keeping me
Oh,
sane. Yeah,
bonding activities.
That's so sweet.
yeah, but those are the little things that are making COVID somewhat bearable.
Mm.
Oh, also, I found this really cool program. So it's called SHOT. I don't know, it's like a Canadian thing, but I'm really into STEM and business. So it's like an opportunity for me to basically meet with the people all across Canada and like learn to code and learn to just like learn all these skills that like are really important. And I just, it's a really cool program. So I got accepted. I'm really happy about it. So like that's
Yay.
Congrats.
yeah, so those are my positives of COVID. Oh, and also I've gotten to read a lot more. Like pre-COVID, I didn't have that much time to read, but now I'm like, you have to read. There are no excuses. Like you got to do it. But yeah, the cat. Continue on your story with your roommates.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. That is amazing. Yeah, for me personally, I guess I can start off with that. A positive that I can say under COVID is I'm personally, in my experience, I'm blessed enough to have been able to um, financially become supportive of living in an apartment with my other roommates. And actually, it establishes a lot of independence for me, like being away from home, as much as I love, spending time with family, which is what I also got to do as well. A bonus addition to that is just spending time with friends, as even though like it's this college life is different and that I can't go out to different parties at school, like dorm parties or like even frat parties. Still
Oh
never
my
even
God.
experienced that. Like I never, no, I haven't been there yet. But and I'm in my second
Party.
year. Uh, Despite all that, I'm having a lot of fun with my roommates. I'm grateful to be living with friends. Even though college life is really different right now, that is the least you can kind of do with
Mm.
social interaction, living with apartment mates, housemates. Um, in addition, I guess another positive I'd say is I use this time in quarantine for a lot of self reflection and introspection. Me personally, I'm a very like observant person when it comes to like being in, uh, like social gatherings and such. It's part of being an introvert for all you
Mm.
introverts out there. But
Same.
yeah, I think uh, in kind of utilizing this time of being alone, it's kind of become sort of almost peaceful in a way. Obviously, I didn't know it last like almost a year now, but at the time being of how long this has been, it's made me get into activities and different hobbies and passions that I would not have otherwise been able to kind of do, like kind of writing more. This journaling has been really helpful, getting into habits that I'm able to do. I've tried painting, I'm not very good at it,
Mm.
but just things that make me feel happy just for myself. That was really an amazing thing that I got to do that I didn't get to do during the busy go, go, go kind of life back pre COVID times. Um,
Yeah, that's
so
great.
it's really awesome. Yeah, I got to discover, even things like my sexuality, like
Oh.
just from self pondering and stuff. That it
Mm.
turns out that I wasn't kind of fit into like heteronormativity as much as I thought I did. That I'm
Mm.
not straight, and in addition, yeah. So a lot of things. I changed my major.
Oh yeah.
This whole
She
that
told
was
us
the
yesterday.
yeah, probably the most positive thing, because it's also paved my way into my future work, is changing my major. And that was only because of quarantine and allowing myself to do this inner work of healing from my past pain and
Yeah.
struggles and hardships. That's the whole reason why I got into journaling, kind of to put the dots together, connect all those pieces. Is I was a nutrition science major my whole college career as a full-time student, and then it was only like literally, guys, last week I switched my major to psychology
Mm.
and pursued a minor in human rights, because I not only did this pandemic made me open my eyes how pervasive and prevalent of an issue that mental health uh and mental illness is, even with this pandemic, but it also kind of in a weird way kind of connected me back to myself. And I needed that time to kind of understand how I can utilize and how I can turn my pain into kind of a transformation, and how I can use my pain into turning my passion, kind of thing. And it's really awesome in that sense, in that light. Um,
Wow. That's amazing for you. Like, I admire you so much for that. So much respect.
that's why, like, my blog is my baby this year, because it's literally like trying to improve myself for the better, without
Yeah.
throughout all my struggles and stuff. Because yeah, it's with what you're saying about Tuasia about spending time with family. I To all the listeners out there who do have family who unconditionally love you, it's great that you have this time to spend with your family. But for people who are in unsafe households, people are, you just know you're never alone, and there's always going to be emotional support for you no matter what. Because there are people out there, unfortunately, who have households that don't feel emotionally safe or physically safe. And, my heart goes out to you, because, um, yeah, I can relate.
Mm.
But I'm good, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, like, I've also been like Kat in a way that I've been doing a lot of introspection. I started journaling more often, which is something that I never got a hold of before COVID. I've gone through like almost half of my journal. I mean, it's just mostly brain dump, stuff like that. but it's helped me get to know myself better, like Kat, and get to know like where I can improve on and like the way I approach people and stuff like that. And one of the greatest things that has been like a stress relief for me, a daily stress relief, is playing with my pets. Because my cat just gave birth like 3 months ago. So we have a little
Congrats.
kitten, and he has been the joy of my life. He's a little naughty, but I love him so much, and I love my cat so much. We have two little cats now. I mean, one big cat, one small cat, the
Yeah.
mama cat and the baby cat. And yeah,
It's yeah. It's my first time living with a cat actually at the apartment
oh,
here. His name is Gus.
they're such a
Yeah.
stress relief, right? You can pet them for like a few
Yeah.
minutes, and you'll feel like, oof, your energy has been restored. And
They're very therapeutic. Yes,
yeah, and I
pets.
like the mother and baby interaction. Between
Mm.
them, it's just so pure, and I could watch them for like 30 minutes straight. I'll trap them both in my bedroom, and then they'll be like cuddling each other and like chasing the tail, and it's just so sweet. And it's made me so happy. And what else has been making me happy? I mean, like, to be sure, I'm living with my family, so even though we don't have like the regular game nights like you guys, but we we always try to, like, every night we watch like something on TV, even if it's just for a while, like after dinner. We Yeah. um I think I've also been getting more sleep. I don't know if that's,
Oh.
yeah, I'm I'm trying to manage my sleep time, because I've watched this master class by, I forgot his name. I think it's the Sleep Master class by Matthew Walker. Wait, is it Sleep Master class? And Matthew Walker. He teaches us about sleep and how important it is for you. So I've also been learning stuff about that, and just trying to expand my mind more,
Mm-hmm.
get to know more of my body. I've been exercising pretty regularly as well, because I did not have time for that in like back in London. So I've been reading more to like fiction books, nonfiction books. I'm just trying to explore what I can like, what I like to learn about besides psychology. And yeah, it's been all right.
I think one thing, just for my personal experience, is with with the pandemic and all, it's made me kind of focus more on personal development, kind of like what you're
True.
saying, Almira, about um, what kind of areas of knowledge do you want to know more about? What keeps you
Yeah.
curious? What keeps you excited? What makes you
Mhm.
maintain that sort of playful and youthful excitement that makes life so beautiful?
Yeah, because actually it's the type of knowledge that you can learn by yourself, like in the comfort of your own
Hmm.
home. But then, like, this is something that keeps me optimistic in some way.
Hmm.
After the pandemic is over, which I don't know when is, but I can apply this knowledge to, like, in real life. I don't know if it's like knowledge per se, but like, for instance, I'm reading a Murakami book, and it just makes me like want to go to Japan, and I want to explore these places where Murakami has described in Japan. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to Japan once the pandemic is over, and it just keeps me hopeful. Oh, sorry, it just keeps me hopeful in that sense. And you
Yeah.
can like, if you read, which is like Tavisha, if you read, like, you can explore like the depths of your mind. Sounds kind of cheesy, but it really does like help you
Yeah.
that way.
Girl, if you think that's cheesy, like all my books are about self-help. Like that's like
Ah,
cheesy to the max. I love reading Young Pueblo. It's a poetry book called Inward, and it's all about these beautiful like short poems about healing and how healing is not a linear process. It's a slow and beautiful kind of transformation into it, becoming a better you. I have books like Reconciling Differences. So it's literally a psychology book about how different um, kinds of thinking are expressed in different communication styles. Like it's just, I love learning, you know.
Also,
Yeah.
no, yeah, go ahead, finish off.
I was just gonna say books are like they're like honestly like so easy. It's so easy to learn something like with the internet. Like I think Elon Musk said that if you really want to learn something, like, I'm paraphrasing, but I think he said if you really want to learn something, you can learn it. Like you don't need to pay a course or something. And that's what I've been trying to do. Like mostly I read like nonfiction. Like I recently read This Is Where It Ends. So it's like a school shooter book and it's very, very like amazing. Like it's so deep. But I've been trying to expand my horizons, learn a bit more about finance. So I'm reading Rich Dad Poor Dad right now, which is I just started, but it's really good. Yeah, I feel like you can learn a lot just by books. It's really amazing. But yeah, you were saying something. Continue.
Oh, it's nothing to do with books. I'm just saying that over the pandemic as well, I've been improving my painting skills because I've painted for a while now.
Something I wish I knew how to do.
Yeah.
Nice.
Before this, I didn't have much time to paint, but even now, I'm always like procrastinating with my paintings. I have a lot of unfinished paintings, but at least like now I can see my growth and my improvement. And since I have all my old drawings here as well, it's so cute to see like before and after. And it makes you like know that you're always growing no matter what. And like it takes time, but it's nice to see that comparison from where you started, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a big part about the idea of maintaining hope and optimism amidst these unprecedented, turbulent, and chaotic times is just remembering what passion feels like and remembering curiosity. Because curiosity is what keeps us humble and makes us want to learn more. But what makes us also want to learn more is passion. Like, truly, like, what makes you excited? And a lot of people in the workplace, I feel like, forget that and often end up in jobs sometimes that don't end up like having this sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Yeah, from that
I
lack
couldn't
of
have said
passion.
it better.
Yeah, I've been like pondering a lot on these topics because I switched my major, so I was like, okay, what is this going to entail for my future? Stuff like that.
Tabisha was saying something.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is really bad. You guys, probably cut out, but I just wanted to add, like, being passionate doesn't mean you have to be good at anything. Like, as long as you're like learning, as long as you like doing it, that's more than enough. Like, I'm terrible at art, but I will stare at a piece of art for so long because it's just so healing. So, like, anyone who's listening, like, if you like something but you're not the best at it, like, it's totally fine. Like, just sometimes you have to enjoy things just because you enjoy them. Life's not about, being the best at everything. So I just thought I would share that.
Yeah. And
I actually also have like a small, I've been struggling with that as well because I always thought I'm not good enough. I like painting, but I have like this quote that actually appeared in my pattern app. I don't know if you guys know, but it's like an
the pattern?
Yeah, the pattern.
I love that app.
Yeah, but it basically read me to filth, and it said I actually wrote it on my wall because it really strikes out to me. It says, try not to second guess yourself or compare yourself to others. Believe in creativity for its own sake, not because it impresses people or brings you success. So I think that's great. And
it brings up like something I thought of. Remember your imagination instead of your reputation.
Yeah. Just do it if you want, like Nike, and just if you want to do something creative or
just do it. Just do it. Yeah.
Just do it. It's good for your mental health as well.
Yeah. And to that, since I guess we can just end it off with that note, that positive note to end off, I would just like to leave you all with this quote. When you change how you see the world around you, the world around you changes. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Unwind the Mind, in which we discussed the idea of optimism and hope under these unprecedented times. And we cannot wait to see you next time. Hope you all enjoyed listening to us and our genuine conversation about everything and anything.